Welcome to the Restoring Balance podcast, where two lifelong friends get together to rewatch and discuss why they love Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm Mike.
And I'm Jim. Today, we're discussing Book 1, Episode 14, The Fortune Teller.
Something about this Ehaz guy, I don't know where he gets off, but he can't keep making bangers like this.
This episode was freaking hilarious.
This might be the most I've laughed at an episode we've watched for this podcast.
I literally was thinking, like, while we were watching it, the team just must have had a bunch of cool ideas as they were making the show in the background. And I think this episode is just a culmination of all of their most fun ideas that they found a way to make a story around.
And I just think the concept of going to a village that's basically directed by a fortune teller is such a fun idea. Like, that makes me want to run a one-shot in D&D where there's, like, a fortune teller. Because it writes itself. Like,
It felt like it did.
it writes itself. You show up at the door and the person's like, they're expecting you. And it's like,
Of course.
seriously, dude?
You can't just have a door guy to a fortune teller place.
Aunt Wu is expecting you.
Really?
It actually felt like the episode went by quickly too. And I don't know if that's because the episode felt like it was writing itself or not, but it was over before I knew it.
It was just really entertaining. And we're finally touching on sort of the love interest of Aang and Katara. To me, this feels like a mirror episode of when they went to Kyoshi.
Yes.
Because it's this similar setup where there's a girl or girls, in the case of the Kyoshi Island episode, who like Aang, but in Kyoshi Island, Aang is really like enjoying the affection of all the girls of the village. And this one, he's ignoring the advances of Meng and like pursuing Katara.
Whenever I think of Aang and Katara's relationship, I always feel like it's not touched on as much as it could have been. But it's almost like this episode hits it hard enough to where I honestly don't feel like I'm missing it throughout the series. They could have used a little more of it to flesh it out, but that's not what this story's about. You know, it's about destiny. And this episode drives that point home too.
That's exactly what the fortune teller basically showed us. She was like, this isn't about love, Aang. She watches the bone explode and is like, oh my god, you're going to have to fight for the fate of the world?
Yeah, I knew that already. But did it say anything about a girl?
A girl?
A lot of subverting of expectations to get more laughs out of us.
I feel like this is the most, I don't know, grounded representation of love I've ever seen.
How do you mean?
The slow growth of this love between Katara and Aang throughout the series, where it's unrequited and like she has the interest in Jet. They can't decide if they want to be together when Aang has to try to let go of her in order to reach the Avatar state. They're such good friends and they become, husband and wife in the end. It's a very interesting growth.
I think this relationship and others within the story are accurate.
That's that realism that we've talked about, which is why I would ask you to stop watching episodes when it was that one summer we watched it together.
Right.
I couldn't take it. I had too many feelings.
Yeah, needed to digest it. I see a lot of the tendencies that I might have had when I was younger and had a crush. Just the way that I would act or how blind I might have been to some of the things I was doing, It's so accurate here.
Sokka telling Aang to be aloof. Insane.
Hey, Aang. I was wondering. See you later.
Wow, that kid is good.
I feel like all humans really care about are each other and like improving things.
That's all you care about.
How dare you? I'm a 5 on the Enneagram. And like almost all of media, like sci-fi, fantasy, you basically just take interpersonal relationships and you put them in a neat setting. And that's it. Sci-fi is like, what if we had interpersonal drama but in space? And then fantasy is like, what if we had interpersonal drama but you're an elf and I'm a dwarf? That's all everything is.
I mean, if it wasn't that, it wouldn't evoke the emotion in us. I feel like it's similar to when you've done something really difficult or stressful, and then the next time something like that comes around, you see somebody stressing out about it, but you're like, yeah, look at that person all freaking out about that thing. It's not that big a deal at all.
Dude, it's insane how quickly that switch flips in my mind. I don't know if everybody's like that. As soon as I've done something once, I could not care less about it again. I literally do not care. It doesn't matter. I can't even understand my previous self. I'm like, what were you thinking, dude? Are you the same way?
Yeah, the primary example for something like that for me is grades and like taking a class again. For any listeners who have taken a class in college, dropped it, and then gone back to take it again, that's happened to me a couple times. And in my experience, taking it again is like, I'm just mad at myself for not getting it the first time. It's so easy now.
Can't relate, never retaken a class, but when I started doing improv, being nervous for the first class and the first show, and then after one or two, I'm like, I don't even care anymore. Like, it's fine. I do not care.
You're just a vet.
I like that aspect about me. I feel like I really quickly acclimate. I just wish I could skip that first acclimation step. I remember I told you when I was driving to my first improv performance, I felt like when you have an out-of-body experience and you're just looking at your life decisions, like, what am I doing? I'm choosing to go, like, embarrass myself. I felt like I was driving to my own funeral. That's what I told you afterwards. I was like, what am I doing?
I remember that. But those challenges are what make the experience. That's the part you remember.
Yeah, I guess. It gives life flavor. Whatever.
Yeah, it's what forges you into the person you are.
The platypus bear was awesome.
Yeah.
Cool guy. That comes up again in the zoo episode, right? Bossing say zoo, there's a platypus bear. It eats the cabbages.
It sure does.
I remember it crushing it in its bill.
Yeah. Uh-huh. It's kind of chilling.
I love
when
that
it
guy.
does that too, yeah.
That might be my favorite. I love the vibe of a platypus bear, actually, a lot. It might be my favorite Avatar mashup.
I remember wondering when we got to this scene with the platypus bear, I was trying to remember how he gets out of this. And for some reason, I thought that traveler was about to like wrestle that platypus bear.
Dude, I thought he was like sick with martial arts or something.
Yeah.
I was like, this is awesome. And then it turns out he was just didn't believe the bear could hurt him.
Yeah. It was complete delusional confidence.
That explains why you were so calm.
But the fortune teller was wrong. You didn't have a safe journey. You were almost killed.
But I wasn't. All right, have a good one.
Hey, sometimes we need that. Wait, you got some of that.
Yeah, a little bit. I think it's good to have a little bit.
You just have delusional optimism, I think, actually.
I think there's, both to some degree, depending on what the thing is, for sure.
How did you get both and I got none?
Well, I'm greedy.
He admits it. And that's a classic start to the episode, too. Just like with, even though we don't necessarily love this episode, The Great Divide, and a bunch of episodes where they introduce a tiny conflict in the beginning, and that's going to be the overarching conflict for the entire episode. So in this one, they have Aang made the necklace for Katara, showing he's got a crush on her, and then this dude is blindly following a fortune teller. And that's the whole plot of the episode.
And man, it was funny.
I was totally in on the Aang has a crush, doing a stupid little craft because he likes her. Can you tell I don't have a girlfriend because I said a stupid little craft? And I didn't realize that was also a reminder, yes, that she lost her necklace and Zuko has it.
Yeah.
That's the necklace that keeps on giving. I tell you what.
Wonderful use of an item.
Are we going to talk about how Sokka immediately sniffs the egg?
Dude.
Fresh egg, hot off the presses.
That was disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a tiny bit gross that he was going to go for the egg in the first place. You know? But to pick it up and just give it a big old sniff. Shoo! Like, I get it. You got to eat. We eat eggs. Give it a minute to cool off. That thing's got to be, that's 98 degrees, buddy.
And probably covered in just not good bodily fluids from that platypus.
Yeah, what are we thinking? The platypus got a cloaca? I don't know about that.
What did you just say to me?
Huh? You don't know about that cloaca?
What is that?
I don't really want to tell you.
Okay. I'm fine with that.
Wait. Do platypuses lay eggs? This one I don't know. Platypuses are...
mammals, right?
No. They're a subset of mammals, marsupials. It's a semi-aquatic. Okay, now I feel stupid.
Perfect.
It's a semi-aquatic, egg-laying mammal of action. Perry the platypus. Have you no
They
culture?
literally said egg laying in the song.
He's a semi-aquatic, egg-laying mammal of action.
Oh
A furry
my
little flatfoot who
God.
never flees from a fray or something like that. Now I feel kind of stupid.
Wow. We might have to put that quote in.
I mean, I said it. We can just keep me saying part of it.
But you didn't sing it very well. You know what I mean?
Why don't you sing?
Can we talk about our poor friend Aang getting absolutely friend zoned?
Nope.
You want to move on from that?
Yeah, let's move on. It hurt too much.
Dude, poor guy.
Stop teasing him, Sokka. Aang's just a good friend. A sweet little guy. Just like Momo.
Thanks.
She figures it out by the end. Aunt Wu comes in clutch, laying the groundwork.
Playing the seeds for us.
She just needed, like, Aunt Wu to get her excited about, like, meeting her future husband and then putting Aang in that light when she realizes he's a powerful bender. But Aang knew for the very first time he saw her.
He is so excited when he overhears that she's going to marry a powerful bender. The sound effects.
Yeah.
In all of the episode, really. All of the quality comedy that was going on during the first half of this episode was paired with such fun beats of music.
This episode was hilarious. You might think it's a cop-out when they go get a reading, and then Aunt Wu can tell Sokka's sort of dismissive of the whole concept, and she writes him off as being like, you're going to cause a lot of problems for yourself.
Your future is full of struggle and anguish. Most of it self-inflicted.
But you didn't read my palms or anything.
I don't need to. It's written all over your face.
But she's like right of that type of person. And if we think of like fortune telling as reading like what's hidden in plain sight, is like understanding the way in which the world actually turns, she's doing fortune telling by looking at his face and his attitude, because he does cause problems for himself.
He was grumpy the whole episode too. There's something to it.
I don't know. I find myself being more and more open to like fortune teller type stuff as I get older, because I've tried to like learn everything I can about like our understanding of the world, and then you go into every topic and you realize, yep, this is where the info ends. We don't know anything else.
Yeah.
It's like, huh? Well, now what?
Yeah.
Like, how do we explain all this stuff? I guess I'm open to theories.
It's funny, like, when they talk about science.
Can your science explain why it rains?
Yes! Yes, it can!
Yes, it can.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah. That line makes me think of you. Especially, like, less open-minded Mike and more closed-minded, like, facts, science-only Mike.
I used to be so close-minded. Just like, if it wasn't published in a peer-reviewed paper or like accepted science, I was just like, it can't be true. Literally impossible to be true. And then I realized the folly of my ways, like at the end of high school. Just like, wow, what a stupid take. I would be livid if I was Sokka as well. Like back then, I would be so upset, especially after finding the volcano was active. I'd be like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna die because they're idiots.
And none of them listened. It was crazy.
That's when I would have lost it. I would think right now that I'd be like, screw it, and just be like, let's leave this village. But in the real situation, I'd be like, there's like dozens of lives here. I'm gonna force you to evacuate, which is basically what they did. They tricked them, which was pretty convoluted. I say just show Aunt Wu the volcano, because that was the revelation. They said, these townspeople aren't going to do anything unless Aunt Wu says.
Right.
So take Aunt Wu to the volcano. Like, she already knows Aang is like the avatar, basically, because he needs to change the fate of the world. Aang, heart to heart, say, hey, sorry my friend keeps abusing your palm reading, but I went up to the volcano, actually, and it looks really bad. She was actually really, like, rational and chill.
I agree. She was definitely a normal person for sure, and would have listened. You mentioned Katara giving her all that business. Another great joke that they slid in.
Hi, Katara.
Can you believe she won't let me in? And after all the business I've given her?
But she doesn't even charge.
I know, but still.
Even as we entered the second half of this episode where the problem really became the central point of the story, we're still sneaking in jokes. It was so good.
I never thought this episode would be so high on my list. This might be like number 1. Nah, it's like top 3.
For season 1.
Oh yeah, I forgot this show hasn't even started yet. You know what? Talking about Aunt Wu, I never realized her name is a joke.
On who?
Aunt Wu. Not that one.
I can't believe that just worked.
I hate it here.
They literally do that in the episode too. Quote it.
Aunt who?
No, Aunt Wu.
I'm a prisoner in my own podcast. Woo-woo is like crazy science, right? Woo-woo is when you're like crazy and you believe in crystals. And listen, I'm not convinced there's not something going on with crystals, but I've fully gone off the deep end.
Like you.
But her name is Aunt Wu because of woo-woo, right? And I never realized. Like, I didn't have that context when I was younger and watched this.
I just feel like this episode is really creative. When it comes to how they convinced Aunt Wu, they bend the clouds, which is water and air. I feel like that is just something that the team had in the back of their mind that they were having fun talking about. Just awesome. And Aang and Katara are just killing it. Up in the clouds, they have the perfect vehicle, Appa, helping out, coming in clutch as always.
I don't know how they made a 3D sculpture out of cloud of a skull.
Pretty impressive.
Took some vision. Especially because they had to think about the perspective of the people viewing from below. But speaking of Appa, they're taking it a little too far this episode. Did you see him carrying that boulder?
Yeah, pretty crazy.
That boulder has got to be 20,000 pounds?
Dude. Even Momo moves a rock to help out. Like, they dug that whole ditch, like, in crazy record time.
That was record time. Do you remember when Avatar Roku and Fire Lord Sozin were fighting on top of that volcano? Did they use the ditch digging technique? They were trying to save the village, right? Or the palace.
Roku's island, yeah. So Roku sends ditches all the way to the edge of the island with one arm.
Oh, yeah, that was sick.
He just lands after jumping on the side of the volcano, and with his right arm, he comes across his body and pushes land all the way to the edge of the island. And then same thing with his left arm, pushes the land all the way to the right side of the island. Freaking awesome. Talk about a powerful bender.
Aang was kind of inspired by his past life, a little bit.
Well, Aang has no knowledge of that at all.
Yeah, and it was Sokka's idea, I think.
Well, he is the idea guy. That scene, though, was epic. Like, talk about the music again. Really cool. In the animation, I like the camera work of, like, bringing it around to see Katara's face and realization.
Wait, what did you just say?
Nothing, just that Aang is one powerful bender.
I suppose he is.
Really good.
I was thinking about the storyboarding they had to do. Because they had like overhead shots of Aang, like showing the lava lake in front of him. They had such interesting like behind the back shots and turning shots.
As Aang says to Roku when they're looking at his backstory, he's fighting a volcano and winning. You know what else I think was creative in this episode? Katara waterbends the rain. Aang has the umbrella, and Katara gets under the umbrella. But at first, she's just, look, water. Let me play around with it a little bit.
That is awesome. It's a precursor to when she stops all of the rain when she finds her mother's killer.
Yeah, like a seed planted again.
I didn't remember that Aang tried to tell Katara his feelings.
Yeah.
I thought he sort of hid it until like the very end. But as soon as he learned from the fortune teller, learned in quotation because she just made it up, that he could find love, he's like, all right, great. She's going to marry a great bender. I'm going to get some love. He was going to tell her and was interrupted.
I feel like when it comes to those early stages of crushes, that if you get the slightest hint, there might be reciprocated feelings. It gives you so much confidence to like take the step that you've been waiting to take.
I'm 100% in agreement. You're just waiting for something to be like, can I do it, please? Can I please just do it? I hate thinking about this. This is so stressful. But then he missed his chance, and it's like in his head again.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Meng's watching everything that's happening. She even admits that she's been stalking him. And unfortunately, they have to have the hard conversation. Her feelings towards him are not reciprocated.
Yeah, he was pretty much unaware of the whole thing.
I rewound that section and stared at you a couple times to see if you would realize what I was trying to get you to realize.
You rewound the show and like looked over at me and then played the scene. And then you rewound it again and looked at me and I'm like, what? It's her voice, isn't it? Her voice. And then we rewound it like 3 more times and I got it.
Yeah.
Meng is voiced by, drum roll please, the voice of Toph.
Jesse Flowers.
Jesse Flowers.
I love that you knew without my prompting or any words, actually.
I knew that you wanted me to guess a voice without you saying anything, and then I got the voice without you saying anything.
So good.
You're training me up, man. This podcast, I mean, I'm improving in some way.
There's another section on these poor romantics about Aang's aloofness that gets me every time. He meets Katara over at the fruit stand where she's unfortunately forced to choose papaya.
Should I eat a mango or a papaya for breakfast tomorrow?
Papaya.
Oh, I hate papaya.
And Aang mentions, you know me. I don't really care what I eat. And that tears me up every time because he's literally a vegetarian. He cares a lot about what he eats.
Yes. Canonically, it's a problem multiple times. He goes hungry in multiple times in the show because there's nothing to eat. Pretty funny what you do for love.
Wow. Yeah, you're right. Interesting. I forgot that it's like literally being said out of love.
Yeah, he was trying to pretend to be aloof.
That kid is good. With all the antics from this episode, we still get a great message in the end as well. And Aunt Wu says it herself. You have the power to shape your own destiny. And I love that is the major takeaway.
That's like something they say in a lot of media where there's like future telling. And I don't know how to square that circle. Like, come on, man. You can't tell the future and tell me that I can change the future, right? Come on, man.
Well, I mean, the message is just that, like, even if you receive a fortune or a prospective future that you don't like, then you can change it into one that you do like.
Yeah, I feel like I'm being a sort of negative Nancy, but like, if I receive a fortune about the future, about anything, of course I know I can change it. It's made up. Okay.
And the fact that you know it now means like you can just do everything in your power to make it not happen.
Yeah. I mean, that's like they've explored this in a ton of fiction. You know what I mean? There's the time travel paradox resolver where you knowing about the future was always part of the way in which time was going to go, and like even though you try to do the exact opposite in a crazy way, it still leads to that outcome.
Well, I like the message for sure.
I definitely think you can control your destiny. That's what I think.
Zuko shows us firsthand. Oh, I mean, everybody in the show does. That's what the show's about.
I thought it was about restoring balance. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Restoring Balance podcast. And when it comes to fortune telling, trust but verify.
And I don't care what Aunt Wu says, you have to take a bath.
Dude, I have the best. Just listen to this. Ready? On the 14th day of Avatar, my true love gave to me 2 turkey ducks and a platypus in a bear tree. I just came up with that. That is insane.
I hate you.
That is insane. Should I have sung it?
No.